66 million years ago, a colossal force from space collided with Earth. A blazing meteor smashed into the Yucatan Peninsula. And in an instant, the world of the dinosaurs came to an end. The sky burned, the oceans roared, and life as it was known was forever changed. But from this cataclysm came something extraordinary. Thousands of sacred sinkholes, known as cenotes, were carved into the land, silent, shimmering portals to an underground world. Clear waters, mysterious shadows, and stories hidden deep beneath the surface. This is Mexico, a land where the past whispers in every stone, where nature and history intertwine, and where a single moment from millions of years ago still shapes the landscapes we explore today. So step closer and follow us. We're about to uncover hidden corners of Mexico that few have ever seen, where every turn tells a story, and every view takes your breath away. There is a bay where the water almost never reaches your chest, and you can walk from beach to beach through the sea. This is Balandra Beach. The whole bay is shallow and calm, so the ocean feels more like a giant clear pool than deep water. At low tide, people can actually walk across the bay, moving from one side to the other with water only at their knees. Balandra is made of 7 different beaches, all inside the same bright turquoise bay, each shaped a little differently by wind and tide. The desert stands right beside the water here, with cactus-covered hills folding down into white sand, creating a view that feels unreal but completely real at the same time. Balandra is a protected natural area, and strict rules limit building and visitor numbers, which is why it still looks untouched instead of crowded. Because of these rules, there are no big hotels or noisy bars on the sand. Just open space, quiet air, and water so clear you can see the ripples on the bottom. The water stays calm and shallow across most of the area, which makes it great for kids, new swimmers, and anyone who just wants to relax without worrying about strong waves. Even though it feels hidden, Balandra sits only about 30 minutes from La Paz, making it a rare place that is easy to reach, yet still carefully protected. Now, before we move on to the next destination, here's a fun question for you. What is Mexico famous for? Comment your answer below. In the Maya language, Cancun can mean the ship at the end of the rainbow. It sits on the northeast tip of the Yucatan Peninsula, facing the open Caribbean Sea, where the water looks almost electric blue. This city is part of the state of Quintana Roo, and is one of the easternmost points in all of Mexico, where the sun is the first to rise over the country each morning. Just south of it stretches the famous Riviera Maya, so Cancun feels like a gateway into a whole coastline of history, jungle, and sea. Explorers like Frederick Catherwood and John Lloyd Stephens wrote about this region in the 1800s. And later, in 1970, Mexico decided to build a world-class city here on the shore. Within 10 years, the skyline changed fast as hotels rose and roads connected the coast, turning a quiet stretch of sand into a major travel city. The dry season from November to May brings warm days and light air, perfect for swimming and boat trips. From April and November, when seasons cross, the weather feels gentle and calm, giving the city a softer side that many visitors love. All of this makes Cancun feel like more than a stop on a trip. It is a meeting point of ocean power, living culture, and deep time. If you're watching this, please click the subscribe button in the corner of the screen. It's completely free, but it means a lot to us. The Maya believed the gods chose Bacalar to test their colors before painting the rest of the world. Look at this lagoon today, and you might just believe it too. Stretching over 26 miles, Bacalar Lagoon is the largest freshwater lake in Mexico, yet it feels like a hidden paradise. Its waters glow in 7 amazing shades of blue, from bright turquoise to deep navy, making it look almost magical. The lagoon is made of many collapsed cenotes, which are natural sinkholes filled with crystal clear water. Each cenote has a different depth, and together they create the stunning colours you see today. Along the shore, you can find stromatolites, strange rocky formations that are billions of years old. These tiny living organisms were some of the first life on Earth, and they help keep the water clean and clear. Hundreds of years ago, the Maya used the lagoon for trade, becoming rich from the goods that travelled through its waters. Later, pirates sneaked in through the lagoon, leaving behind stories of daring attacks and hidden treasures. Today, more than 100,000 people visit Bacalar each year to swim, kayak, or just relax and watch its unbelievable colours. No matter where you look, Bacalar Lagoon feels like a place where history, nature, and magic come together in perfect harmony. Think pink lakes are just Instagram filters? Think again. In Las Coloradas, Mexico, the water glows naturally, salt and algae turning it into a real-life dream. This small town sits on the northern coast of the Yucatan Peninsula, where the Gulf of Mexico meets the Río Lagartos Lagoon. What looks like a magical pink lake is actually a salt pond created for harvesting sea salt, a tradition that goes back to the ancient Mayans. The sunlight slowly evaporates the water, and special microorganisms thrive in the salty environment, painting the lakes in shades from soft pink to deep rose. Flamingos and other birds often wander across the surface, adding life and movement to this surreal landscape. Every step along the shore feels like walking inside a painting with colours so vivid you almost can't believe your eyes. The pink water changes with the seasons and sunlight, turning from pale yellow to bright magenta, as if nature itself is putting on a show. Even though the lakes are beautiful, swimming is forbidden. Protecting both the salt production and the delicate ecosystem is a must. Las Coloradas isn't just a pretty place. It's a living story of nature, culture, and history, all wrapped in pink hues and endless skies. More than 500 years ago, explorers arrived here and saw statues of women offered to a Mayan goddess. That moment gave this island its name, Isla Mujeres, the island of women. For the Maya, this island was linked to Ixchel, the goddess of the moon, fertility, abundance, and medicine. The island sits in the Mexican Caribbean, where the Caribbean Sea meets the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula. It is small in size, only about 7 kilometres long and around 650 metres wide. But its story covers many centuries. Today, more than 17,000 people call Isla Mujeres home, creating a community shaped by sea, fishing, and tourism. The island lies about 13 kilometres from the mainland, and visitors can reach it by ferry that runs many times a day. Warm weather is almost constant here, with an average temperature of about 27 degrees Celsius, making it feel like summer most of the year. The waters around Isla Mujeres include part of the world's second largest coral reef, filled with many kinds of marine life. Because of its clear and shallow water, it is an easy place for families and beginners to swim, snorkel, and see the bright colours under the sea. Would you visit this amazing place? Comment 1 if you've been, 2 if it's on your bucket list. The water of Agua Azul has so many minerals that it literally coats rocks and trees in limestone. A river turning the jungle into a natural sculpture right before your eyes. These waterfalls are part of the Xanil River in Chiapas, in southern Mexico, not far from the town of Palenque. They cascade one after another, creating a series of smaller waterfalls that stretch for hundreds of metres. Some of the larger falls drop as much as 6 metres, sending white water crashing into bright turquoise pools. The high mineral content gives the water its incredible blue colour and creates thick limestone shells on rocks and fallen trees. In 2000, the Mexican government protected this area as a flora and fauna reserve, covering over 25 square kilometres. After the 2017 Chiapas earthquake, locals worked to restore the waterfalls, repairing cracks and keeping the water flowing. Visiting at sunrise offers the best experience when the falls are almost empty and the jungle sounds are all you hear. The current can be very strong, and hidden undertows make swimming outside safe zones dangerous, so visitors must be careful. The further you walk upstream, the fewer tourists you find, and the more you can appreciate the power and beauty of each cascading waterfall. Over 70 years ago, a violent eruption wiped out all life on San Benedicto. Today, this tiny Mexican island blooms again, with giant manta rays dancing beneath its crystal clear waters and seabirds reclaiming the skies. San Benedicto is part of the remote Revillagigedo archipelago, rising sharply from the Pacific Ocean like a hidden treasure. Its volcanic peaks, especially the Barchana Cone at 332 metres, create a dramatic landscape of cliffs and ash-covered terrain. The 1952 eruption changed the island forever, covering it in lava and ash, and forcing all life to start over. But nature is unstoppable, and slowly grasses and shrubs began to grow, bringing back birds and insects. Today, seabird colonies thrive, including Laysan albatrosses, blue-footed boobies, and wedge-tailed shearwaters. Beneath the waves, the marine life is incredible, with hammerhead sharks, dolphins, and even humpback whales swimming in the protected waters. Despite its volcanic soil and lack of fresh water, the island is proof that life can rise from total destruction and create breathtaking beauty. We get our info from many places. So if we missed something or you've got a cool tip, share it in the comments. The Maya called it Holbox, meaning black hole. The first settlers arrived on the island after fleeing attacks on their mainland city, looking for a safe place to live. Even when the Yucatan and Mexican governments tried to relocate them, the islanders refused to leave, choosing to stay on the land they had claimed. Over the centuries, they built a small community, that carefully preserve the island's natural beauty and peaceful way of life. For a long time, Holbox had almost no hotels or restaurants, making it one of the least visited places in Mexico. Today, colourful boutique hotels and new restaurants are slowly appearing. But the island still feels calm and quiet compared to nearby tourist spots like Tulum. There are no cars on Holbox, so visitors can stroll along the wide, white sandy beaches without traffic or noise. Whale sharks visit the waters near Holbox, offering safe and unforgettable encounters for snorkelers during certain months of the year. Despite its growing popularity, the islanders enforce strict rules for tourism to protect their paradise, keeping it safe, peaceful, and sustainable for everyone who visits. In one of the richest seas on Earth, there is a place where more marine species live than in almost any other waters in the Americas. Espíritu Santo Archipelago National Park. This national park sits in the Gulf of California off Baja California Sur, and is part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site because of its outstanding biodiversity. Clear turquoise water surrounds the islands, and the warm currents bring nutrients that support huge schools of fish, rays, turtles, and many kinds of sharks. One of the largest sea lion colonies in the region lives here, and these animals use the rocky shores to rest, breed, and teach their pups to swim and hunt. 7 different species of sea turtles pass through the park, using it as a feeding and resting area during their long migrations. The park is also a stopover for humpback whales and dolphins, which follow seasonal routes through the Gulf of California. Scientists study the park because 38 plant and animal species here are found nowhere else on Earth. The contrast of desert cactus on land and colourful coral reefs underwater makes the ecosystems unique and very sensitive to change. Because of this importance, Mexico's Protected Areas Agency manages visitor rules and requires permits to reduce human impact. Basaseachic Falls drops 246 metres, making it Mexico's second tallest waterfall. It stands in the Copper Canyon region, where rivers cut huge canyons into volcanic rock over 20 to 40 million years. The falls are inside Basaseachic Falls National Park, high in the mountains of the Sierra Madre Occidental. For many years, it was believed to be the tallest waterfall in Mexico, until new measurements showed Piedra Volada is even taller. But Piedra Volada does not flow all year, which makes Basaseachic the tallest permanent waterfall in the country. Sierra de Quila is a hidden gem in Mexico, quieter than famous parks like Nevado de Colima or La Malinche. It is a protected area of about 15,000 hectares, with tall mountains and many different landscapes. The main entrance is west of the town of Tecalotlan, opening into forests of pine and holm oak. This is real wildlife country, home to white-tailed deer, pumas, wild boars, armadillos, foxes, and many birds. What if paradise is not a fantasy? What if it has an address at the very tip of Mexico? As it turns out, it does, and its name is Cabo San Lucas. This is a place where the desert walks right up to the ocean and shakes hands with it. The waves crash against giant stone arches and the sun paints everything in gold. Cabo is known for its bright beaches, clear water, and wild, beautiful coastline that feels alive. Long ago, the Parakou people lived here, close to the sea, fishing and gathering from the land. For more than 10,000 years, humans have watched these same waves and winds shape the rocks. Today, visitors come from around the world to see El Arco, the famous sea arch rising from the water like a natural gate. Boats glide across the blue sea, and sometimes sea lions rest on the rocks like sleepy kings. In winter, whales travel here, and the ocean suddenly becomes a giant moving story. Cabo San Lucas is not just a place on a map. It is a feeling of standing at the edge of the world, where history, culture, and nature meet in one epic view. Your mind wants silence, your heart wants colour, your feet want warm sand. All three meet in one destination, Playa del Carmen. Playa del Carmen sits on Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, right along the Caribbean Sea. It is known as a calmer and more relaxed choice compared to Cancun, which is only about an hour away. The town is easy to walk, so visitors can explore shops, cafes, and beaches without needing a car. Locals often call it simply Playa, and people from many countries visit, especially travellers from Europe. It has grown from a small ferry town into one of the largest cities in the state of Quintana Roo. The beaches here are popular for swimming and relaxing, even if the sand and water are not as perfect as Cancun's. Today, Playa del Carmen ranks among the best beach and spring break destinations in Mexico, and it keeps growing every year. Long ago, Mayan women travelled across the sea to reach this island. They came here to pray to Uxmal, the moon goddess of love and new life. Because of this, Cozumel became one of the most important pilgrimage places in the Mayan world. Their journeys all led to one main destination, San Gervasio. Deep in the forest, San Gervasio held temples where people brought gifts and hopes to Uxmal. Over time, a lively Mayan community grew here, with thousands of people living, trading, and sailing across the blue water. The Mayans called the island Cozumel, meaning Island of Swallows, inspired by the birds across the sky above it. In modern times, Cozumel is recognized again for its meaning and beauty. Officially named a Pueblo Mágico of Mexico in 2023. Now the island welcomes travelers from around the world, just as it once welcomed pilgrims, but the story continues in a new way. Clear Caribbean water surrounds it, resting over the Mesoamerican Barrier Reef, the second largest reef system on Earth. Under those waves are coral gardens, turtles, and bright fish, making Cozumel a legendary place not only on land, but also beneath the sea. From above, the colours of Río Lagartos look unreal, like someone painted the lagoon with a brush of magic. As you get closer, the colours become even brighter, reflecting the sunlight in soft, glowing shades of pink. This small town in the Yucatan feels like a place frozen in time, where life moves slowly and simply. Hundreds of flamingos gather here, their pink feathers shining against the calm waters. The secret behind the pink colour is a tiny microalgae called Dunalia salina, which thrives in the salty lagoon and slowly turns the flamingos pink too. Río Lagartos is not just about colours, it is a paradise for birdwatchers and nature lovers. Over 350 bird species have been spotted here. making it one of Mexico's most important bird-watching spots. The village itself is peaceful, with small fishing boats floating in their canals and children playing along the shore. In 2004, UNESCO named this area the Río Lagartos Biosphere Reserve to protect its amazing balance of nature and human life. Over 1,000 years ago, the Itzá people built Chichén Itzá around sacred wells and pyramids. Legend says the feathered serpent god Kukulkan once descended here, teaching the Maya how to read the stars, honor the gods, and shape an entire civilization. The city became a center of worship, where priests conducted ceremonies to ask the sun and rain gods for good harvests. El Castillo, the pyramid of Kukulkan, was designed with precise steps that align with the sun during equinoxes, creating the illusion of a serpent slithering down. Many of the pyramids have 7 to 18 levels, each representing a layer of the Maya cosmos that connects humans with the divine. The Temple of Warriors stands nearby, decorated with carvings that show both warriors and gods, reflecting the importance of religion in Maya society. Chichén Itzá shows a mix of architectural styles influenced by central Mexico and other Maya regions, suggesting the city had a diverse population. Even today, walking through Chichén Itzá, visitors can see the careful planning of each structure, from the pyramids to the sacred wells, revealing the knowledge and beliefs of an extraordinary civilization. In the heart of Morelia stands Catedral de Morelia, a Baroque cathedral built with pink stone that shines under the sun. Construction began in 1660 and lasted 84 years, finally finishing in 1744 after many architects worked on it. The Italian architect Vicente Barroso Escaiola started the project, and after his death, other masters continued until Joseph de Medina completed it. Its twin towers rise 66.8 meters high, making them the 4th tallest in Mexico and dominating the city skyline. A powerful fire destroyed part of the building when it was almost finished, but the cathedral was rebuilt and maintained its beautiful Baroque style. From high viewpoints like the Santa Maria flag, the cathedral clearly stands out, showing why no other building in Morelia can be taller. Catedral de Morelia tells a story of dedication, time, and craftsmanship, making it a landmark that reflects the city's history and culture. El Ángel, or the Angel of Independence, is one of the most famous monuments in Mexico City. It was built to celebrate 100 years since Mexico began its fight for independence from Spain. Construction started in 1902, but part of the monument collapsed in 1906 and had to be rebuilt before it opened in 1910. The monument stands 36 metres tall and is topped by a golden statue called the Winged Victory, holding a laurel wreath and a broken chain. El Ángel also became a mausoleum in 1925, holding the remains of independence heroes like Miguel Hidalgo and José María Morelos. The monument has survived earthquakes, including one in 1957 when the Winged Victory statue fell and had to be restored. Today, people visit El Ángel to see its art, history, and symbols of freedom. And it remains one of Mexico City's most important landmarks. Over 500 years ago, the Maya built Tulum on a cliff overlooking the Caribbean. It was one of the last cities they ever built, and it served as an important port for trade with other Maya cities, including Coba. The city reached its greatest prominence between the 13th and 15th centuries. Even after the Spanish arrived in Mexico, the Maya continued to live in Tulum for about 70 more years. By the end of the 16th century, the city was completely abandoned. Today, Tulum is one of the best preserved coastal Maya sites in Mexico. The ruins sit on cliffs that rise 12 meters above the Caribbean Sea, offering breathtaking views of turquoise waters. The surrounding tropical forests make the area feel peaceful and calm, a sharp contrast to nearby busy towns like Cancun. Tulum is also famous for its white sandy beaches that stretch along the coastline. Visiting Tulum lets people see ancient Maya architecture, while enjoying nature, history, and the beauty of the Caribbean all in one place. Over 2,000 years ago, in the Valley of Mexico, a city rose so grand it could house over 100,000 people. The Aztecs later called it the place where gods were created. Welcome to Teotihuacán, a land of pyramids, legends, and mysteries that still amaze the world today. The city was founded around 100 BCE and quickly grew into the largest urban centre in the Americas. Its streets were carefully planned in a grid, with wide avenues and massive plazas connecting temples and residential compounds. The Pyramid of the Sun, the largest structure here, rises over 200 feet and is aligned with the sunrise on special days of the year. The Pyramid of the Moon stands at the northern end of the Avenue of the Dead, guiding ceremonial processions and religious rituals. Evidence shows people from many cultures, including Maya, Mixtec, and Zapotec, lived in Teotihuacan, making it a true cultural melting pot. Around 550 CE, the city suffered massive fires and was abandoned, but its monuments continued to inspire generations, including the Aztecs who made pilgrimages here centuries later. Long ago, people whispered about a tiny magician born from an egg. They said he built Uxmal in just one night. Today, when the sun hits the temples, it almost feels like the story could be true. Uxmal stands in the Puc Hills of Yucatan in Mexico, about 62 kilometers south of Mérida. It was a major Maya city over 1,000 years ago, with many thousands of people living in and around it. The name Uxmal means thrice built, showing that its main buildings were rebuilt and expanded several times. Many structures follow the Puc style, with smooth lower walls and detailed stone designs near the top. The city plan follows the natural hills and the stars instead of straight lines, showing strong knowledge of astronomy. Uxmal reached its peak around AD 800 to 900 and was later left behind when water became hard to find. Today, it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, protected together with nearby sites like Kaba, Sail, and Labna. When visitors walk through its plazas and pyramids, they can clearly see how skilled the Maya were in building and city planning. Its name means Beach of the Dead in the Zapotec language, but what lives here most strongly is freedom. Sun, salt, and stories fill the air. Welcome to Zipolite. It sits on the southern coast of Oaxaca in Mexico, between Huatulco and Puerto Escondido. The beach is known for strong Pacific waves and powerful currents, so people need to be careful when swimming. in 1970. A total solar eclipse brought many visitors here, and it helped change a quiet fishing area into a gathering place for free spirits. Many of the first travellers stayed in simple huts with palm roofs. And this relaxed, low-key style is still easy to see today. Zipolite is Mexico's only official nude beach, and the community is known for being open and welcoming to many different kinds of people. Today, visitors come for surfing, wide sunsets, and a natural beach that feels real and unpolished. There are only 3 places on Earth where waterfalls turn to stone, and one of them is here in Mexico. The water doesn't really boil, but the minerals make it look like it does while staying cold. This rare wonder is Hierve el Agua. For thousands of years, spring water filled with calcium flowed over the edge of the cliff and left hard white rock behind. From far away, it looks like a real waterfall, but when you get close, you see it is solid stone. On top, there are natural pools where the water is cold and clear, sitting right above a wide mountain valley. The Zapotec people lived in this area for thousands of years, and they used the spring water to build channels that helped them water their fields. Archaeologists have found parts of this irrigation system, and it is one of the oldest mountain systems ever discovered in Mexico. In 2021, local landowners closed the site because tourists were coming, but the community was not getting the benefits. Later, it reopened with daily limits, so visitors can still come while the people who live here protect their land and culture. Copper Canyon is a group of 6 big canyons in northwestern Mexico, sitting in the Sierra Madre Occidental Mountains. Together, they cover about 65,000 square kilometers, which makes the area larger than many countries' cities combined. These canyons were shaped by 6 rivers that cut through the mountains on the west side of the Sierra Tarahumara. All 6 rivers join into one main river called the Rio Fuerte, which later flows into the Gulf of California. The canyon walls look copper and green, and this special color is the reason it is called Copper Canyon. Some parts of Copper Canyon are even deeper than the Grand Canyon in the United States. Most of the rocks here were made from ash and mud from ancient volcanoes about 20 to 40 million years ago. Only the rocks at the very bottom are older, showing a longer story of the Earth below the surface. In the south of Mexico City, the Xochimilco Canals form a wide network of waterways that preserves pre-Hispanic farming life. Colourful wooden boats called trajineras glide along these canals, carrying families, music, and bright decorations. Beside them are chinampas, the famous floating gardens first built in Aztec times and still used for growing plants today. These gardens are human-made islands created from layers of plants and mud, showing a smart, ancient way to farm on water. The canals are also a protected habitat for many birds, and for the endangered axolotl, a rare salamander found here. Markets near the canals, like Mercado de Xochimilco, offer tacos, tamales, and quesadillas made with fresh local ingredients. Travelers are advised to stay in busy areas, keep their things close, and respect the canals and local traditions while visiting. Xochimilco is also linked to the legend of La Llorona, a famous Mexican ghost story about a woman who lost her children long ago, and is said to cry as she searches for them along the canals at night, giving the water a powerful emotional mood. Do you know this legend? Or have you heard a version of it? Share your story or thoughts in the comments below. One night during construction, dark clouds covered Taxco and lightning crashed over the unfinished towers. Jose de la Borda, the richest silver mine owner in the area and the man paying for the church, had already left the city on a business trip. So the builders stayed behind and continued the work without him. As the storm grew stronger, cold wind blew through the half-built church and howled through the empty windows. People in the town became afraid because the towers were not finished yet, and they thought the storm could break everything they had built. Then, during a huge flash of lightning, the dome lit up and the tiles seemed to shine in many strange lights. People said they could clearly see the words, "Glory to God in the highest and peace on earth for men of good will," glowing on the dome in the middle of the rain. At that moment, a bright woman of light was said to appear above the church, calm and smiling, catching each new lightning bolt with her hands. Families knelt in the main plaza and watched, believing the church was being protected while the storm hit again and again. When the storm finally ended, the towers were still standing. And that story has been told in Taxco ever since as the legend of Santa Prisca. Once nearly abandoned, San Miguel de Allende has become world famous. San Miguel de Allende was built on the site of Itzcuinapan, a settlement used by wandering tribes long ago. A Spanish priest named Miguel Palanca dedicated a small chapel there to Archangel Michael, and the town became known as San Miguel. For centuries, it stayed a quiet town with simple streets and houses until the early 20th century. A deadly flu epidemic emptied much of the population, leaving the town almost deserted. In the 1930s, art schools started opening in San Miguel, bringing students and teachers from Mexico and beyond. American veterans of World War II discovered the town and began returning every year, adding to its growing fame. Today, people come from all over to see the San Miguel Archangel Church, one of the few neo-Gothic churches in Mexico. The town also has a mix of hotels, restaurants and cafes, showing a blend of local Mexican life and international visitors. With its colonial architecture, cobblestone streets and warm light, San Miguel de Allende tells the story of a town that rose from near abandonment to become a cultural and artistic treasure. Over 1,000 years ago, a city with more than 100,000 people thrived here, and now it lies hidden in the jungle. Cobo was the heart of a vast network of Mayan cities, connected by more than 50 stone roads called sacbas. The city covered around 80 square kilometres with towering pyramids rising above lakes and forest. Archaeologists have found stelae engraved with ceremony and important events, showing how life flourished here. Cobo's main constructions were built between 500 and 900 AD, yet people kept repairing and adding temples for centuries after. The city was home to thousands of farmers and artisans, living and working in a place that now feels completely silent. Every stone road, pyramid and lake seems to whisper the stories of a civilization that once ruled the eastern Yucatan. Centuries ago, a city emerged in western Mexico. That would become the beating heart of Mexican traditions. Guadalajara was officially founded in 1542, but its roots stretch back to early Spanish settlements in the Atemajac Valley. By the 18th century, it had grown into Mexico's second largest city, a hub of wealth and power thanks to nearby silver discoveries. The city became a cradle for revolutionary ideas. When Miguel Hidalgo established one of Mexico's first independent governments there in 1810, Guadalajara is the birthplace of many traditions people now associate with Mexico worldwide, including mariachi music and the Mexican hat dance. Its streets are lined with theatres and museums, preserving centuries of art while inspiring new generations of performers and painters. During the Porfiriato, industrialization brought trams, factories, and modern infrastructure, transforming the city's landscape forever. Even the Cristero War of the 1920s left deep marks, shaping its identity and resilience as citizens rebuilt their community. Despite modern growth and traffic challenges, Guadalajara continues to balance tradition and innovation, remaining a cultural pioneer. Guanajuato was founded in the 16th century after silver deposits were discovered in the surrounding hills. Houses cascade down slopes in bright colours, including fuchsia, saffron yellow, lime green, and sky blue. The city rose to prominence as one of Mexico's richest mining centres, attracting settlers from Spain and Europe. Narrow alleys wind through the city, opening onto hidden plazas and local theatres at every turn. Guanajuato served as Mexico's temporary capital during periods of political and revolutionary activity. Underground tunnels built to manage floods now serve as streets, showing early engineering solutions, despite UNESCO World Heritage recognition. The city maintains a lived-in, active atmosphere rather than feeling like a museum. Public art, murals, and street performances make culture a part of everyday life. The city's dramatic hills and colourful streets create a visual experience unique in Mexico. Stay with us, because what you're about to see next will take you even deeper into Mexico's most incredible waters and stories. Mazatlan became a major port city in the 19th century, connecting Sinaloa's mining regions to the Pacific trade routes. The city was originally founded in 1531 by Spanish settlers in a region already inhabited by indigenous communities. Its name comes from Nahual, meaning land of deer, reflecting the local wildlife at the time. By the mid-1800s, Mazatlan had developed into a key commercial hub for gold and silver mining equipment. From 1859 to 1873, it served as the capital of Sinaloa, centralizing government and trade in the state. German immigrants arrived during the 19th century, introducing influences that shaped local music, including banda. The historic centre contains theatres, galleries, and colonial-era buildings that document centuries of culture. Mazatlan's boardwalk, the longest in Latin America, stretches along the Pacific coast and provides scenic views of the ocean. The port historically guided ships and trade, establishing Mazatlan as a strategic maritime location. Puerto Vallarta is located where the Sierra Madre Mountains meet the Pacific Ocean, creating a dramatic coastal landscape. The city lies on Bahia de Banderas, one of Mexico's largest natural bays, known for its marine biodiversity. Golden beaches along the bay provide swimming, kayaking and snorkeling opportunities year-round. Tropical vegetation surrounds the city, including jungle areas that are home to parrots, iguanas and other wildlife. The mountains create hiking trails with views of both the ocean and the city below. Nearby rivers and streams feed into the Pacific, forming estuaries that support local ecosystems. The city experiences a rainy season from June to October, while winter months attract the most visitors. Whale watching is a seasonal activity in the bay, with humpback whales migrating during the winter months. The combination of mountains, jungle and ocean makes the city a unique destination for both relaxation and adventure. Along the coast of Mahahual, the waters meet the Mesoamerican Reef, the second largest barrier reef on the planet. Originally a quiet fishing village, Mahahual still retains its small-town charm despite growing tourism. The name Mahahual comes from a native tropical tree called mahahua, which grows in the surrounding area. Soft sand beaches stretch along the shoreline, with shallow waters ideal for children and casual swimmers, compared with larger resorts in Cancun or Playa del Carmen. Mahahual is noticeably quieter and more relaxed. The surrounding wetlands remain largely untouched, giving visitors glimpses of native wildlife in its natural habitat. By combining calm beaches, vibrant coral reefs, and a laid-back village atmosphere, Mahahual offers a uniquely peaceful Caribbean getaway. Stretching to the southern tip of Mexico, Chiapas borders Guatemala and opens onto the Pacific Ocean. Dense tropical rainforests cover its northern plains, where annual rainfall can exceed 3,000 millimeters. Cloud forests cling to the central mountain ranges, providing habitats for quetzals, horned guans, and other rare birds. The region's name comes from the Nahuatl word Chiapan, which means the place where the chia sage grows. Valleys in the south and along the coast support plantations of bananas, coffee, and other tropical crops. Rivers and waterfalls cut through volcanic and mountainous terrain, creating scenic gorges and opportunities for ecotourism. Protected areas like Reserva de la Biosfera El Triunfo maintain cloud forest ecosystems, ensuring survival for endangered species. From natural wonders to living culture, Chiapas presents a blend of history, biodiversity, and human heritage, unlike any other region in Mexico. Cenotes are natural holes in the ground that hold fresh water, formed when limestone rock collapses. Most cenotes are found on Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, where limestone and underground water create thousands of them. The word cenote comes from a Mayan word that means a natural water well. Ancient Maya people depended on cenotes for drinking water because there were few rivers or lakes nearby. Many cenotes are filled with crystal clear water. That comes from rain soaking through the ground. Some cenotes are open to the sky like big natural pools, and others are deep inside caves with stalactites and stalagmites. Because the water is so clear, people often swim, snorkel, and dive in cenotes for fun. Cenotes also connect to long underground rivers that run under the Yucatan Peninsula. Scientists and communities work to protect cenotes, because they are fragile ecosystems and important water sources. A massive chasm, taller than any skyscraper, slices through southern Mexico like nature's own fortress. Formed more than 35 million years ago, Sumidero Canyon shares its ancient origins with the Grand Canyon, yet it hides secrets few have seen. Its vertical walls rise up to 1,000 meters, carved by relentless forces of the Grijalva River twisting sharply along its 13-kilometer path. Legends of the Zoc and Tzotzil peoples say the gods themselves shaped these cliffs to protect the land from invaders. Fossils embedded in limestone layers reveal marine life from an age when this region was beneath the ocean, a silent testament to time's power. The river that carved it continues to flow with astonishing force, feeding distant lands and connecting communities along its 766-kilometer journey. Sumidero Canyon is both a geological wonder and a sacred place in local culture, reflecting millions of years of natural history and human storytelling. Imagine a city built on islands rising from a lake. That would become one of the oldest capitals in the Americas. Mexico City was founded by the Mexica in 1325 as Tenochtitlan on the shores of Lake Texcoco. The city was almost completely destroyed during the Spanish conquest in 1521 and later rebuilt following European urban planning. Wide streets and colonial plazas sit alongside ancient Aztec ruins, showing how history layers in the urban landscape. Sitting at 2,240 metres above sea level, the city enjoys mild temperatures year-round and a unique climate for its residents. Walking through Mexico City lets visitors see centuries of history at once. From ancient temples to modern streets filled with everyday life. From the bustling streets of Mexico City to the quiet ruins hidden in the jungle, every corner of this country tells a story. Every pyramid, every plaza, every small village carries whispers of the people who lived, loved, and built these lands over centuries. Mexico isn't just a place you visit, it's a place that moves with you, leaving traces in your memory long after you leave. Thank you for exploring this incredible country with us, and see you next time.